we cannot share it, oh no. But Jaja has a plan to bring the system down. Hey, it's failing, the system of the world is failing, oh yeah. Them a try hard to save it now. It's failing, and no one has the power to save it. But Jaja I go lead his people now. Hey. Oh, no, 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 no. Here it is. The love of money is the root of all evil. Oh yeah. I don't know if I sell them birthright and I sell out the people now. Some of them are kill and maim and some are rob all the people. Oh yeah. But Jaja not sleep and he might go take them out. Hey, it's failing. The system of the world is failing. Oh yeah. Them a try hard to save it now. It's failing. No one has the power to save it. Oh no. But Jaja I go lead his people now. Hey. It's failing. I'm so excited. Do you long to have some real fun in the sun? Well, this is your opportunity to laugh till you drop while you experience a day of total relaxation. Soak it all up on our boat ride to Anegada in honor of the late Algon Smikle. Then brace yourself. The fun party will be blazing in Anegada. We cannot sleep, we cannot wait.
And also remember that the boat leaves at Beef Island Dock at 8 o'clock. So be on time.
June 26th, you would be crazy to miss this. Prizes and surprises galore.
Me hear say Freddy a go and Freddy no ready. So me ready more than Freddy.
Call 342-3979, 543-3803 or 345-3760 for more information. The party master will be there. You hear?
A new season has begun, and while transformation is inevitable for many, your life will remain the same if this is the way you want it to be. However, you can change your life with a better plan from Lifeline Financial Programs. Begin fortnightly cash installments with any amount, then watch your finances multiply into thousands of dollars as you create a brand new future. Life is not a dream. You only get what you put in. We know you cannot do it alone. And this is why Lifeline Financial Programs created the best financial plans to help you transform your life. Guaranteed. Call us now at 540-4555 or email us at lifelinebvilimited@gmail.com for more information.
Lifeline Financial Programs, the gateway to a better future.
Greetings, and welcome again to another another session of the Raw Truth. Absolutely amazing that we are back with you, and of course, it's always a pleasure to be here to serve, to inform, to keep you updated as to what is happening across the world. As usual, before we begin, it's always a pleasure to give thanks. Yes. To the streams of water, to the pools and the lakes, to the maize and the fruits, to the medical herbs and the trees, for the forest trees, for their usefulness, for the animals that serve as food, give their pelts, clothing, For the great winds and the lesser winds, as much as we might have some hurricanes every now and again, to the thunder, to the sun, to the mighty warrior, to the moon, to the messengers of the Creator who reveals his wishes, and to the great Creator who dwells in the heavens above, who gives all the things useful to men, and who is the source and the ruler of health and life. To the great Creator, and for all things, we give thanks. Always a good thing to give thanks, because when the day is over, yes, it's good to be thankful. This is our motto, this is our theme. We always will give thanks. And I will implore you, whatever you find yourself dealing with, wherever you are, whatever you're going through, always give thanks, because being thankful opens the door to changing your situation, whatever your situation is. Many strive to be millionaires or to have tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. But the real point is, when the day is done, if you can't be thankful for $10, how will you be thankful for 10 million? See? It's a principle. So let's learn to be thankful. When you're thankful, then things will manifest in your life. Tonight we have quite an interesting program lined up for you, and of course, without wasting any more time, we're going to go straight into News Buzz, and then of course we proceed into the rest of the program. We'll be back in a minute. Yes, welcome to News Buzz, and of course, this evening we have quite a bit happening in News Buzz. I guess the world is popping with all sorts of things that we're not hearing about at all. I'm not sure when media has become dead. Quite interesting that media is no more functioning. I'm not sure what is happening within each country, but there seems to be a blockage. The line has been plugged. No information is passing across the world as it was at one stage. Obviously, if you wish to become a conduit for the transfer of information, many times you find yourself, especially on social media, you're censored. You can't even talk about COVID or anything relating to it. You get censored. It's quite interesting that is happening. And it's very unfortunate that we have come to this point where people can relate very practically about some things as they happen. Very unfortunate. However, as we continue to use common sense as we go along, we can only share what we can in a way that we can. And we hope that you will be able to manage the information prudently, because information like food, it's gotten to that place where food is going to become short as well. It's not a joke. We have to be managing food and information and such matters with caution nowadays. Not a joke at all. Well, if I should open up a little bit, we have some very interesting happenings developing around us. I must remind you that the USA has, not just the USA, the US Virgin Islands as well. I think the US VI is following what is happening in the USA. They have ended COVID testing and requirements for air travelers. So if you need to get into St. Thomas right now, I don't think that I was told today again that it is for real. You can travel in there without getting a COVID test. You don't need to have a COVID test to travel into St. Thomas. So this is where that is, and of course we hope that the BVI will take very similar steps to make sure that such measures are removed, because I think it has been hampering a lot of businesses. It's been destroying a lot of people's lives, even at this early stage. And very seemingly, the greater part of all the scrap is not in place yet. I call it crap because when it is done, why would one want to destroy the life of anyone simply by putting these measures in place? It's going to destroy a lot of people's lives. Yes, we're watching it. But we hope the BVI will operate prudently and do what is right. Like St. Kitts and other places where the mandates are still very much enforced. A mask mandate is nothing in comparison to mandating that people be injected or swabbed to enter your shores. When COVID has declined significantly, yes, I think the time has come for us to take a very serious look at what we're doing and approach it with common sense, yes? All right, so the USA and US Virgin Islands, they have removed all COVID testing requirements for air travel. So that's a good thing. Let me remind you, my brothers and sisters, that food is going to become short. I don't know how else we're going to say this to you, because food is going to become short. There is a pending shortage, and somehow the wars yet to start feeling the pinch in a way that imports or exports, for that matter, to other places like the BVI, yes, and other parts within the Central Americas will be affected by food shortages. This is nothing to take lightly. I've been preaching like hell to help some of us understand exactly what is coming, but some of us are not even sure where we are in relation to these things. Food will become short. We're looking right down the barrel of the gun for famine. That is what is going to come on shortly, very soon. We will be having food shortages. Again, I say, store rice, store dried foods, store tin products with a long shelf life, store stuff, store your beans, your peas, your beans, whatever you can find, dried goods, store food. Don't wait until the line gets long at the supermarket, because food is going to become short. I don't know how else to say it. All right? Long list of factories. Before I move on, if you notice all of these meat factories and meat company and food processing plant and all of these places have been either plane crash into them or fire start or some crap burn them down. They are being damaged. Don't take it lightly. A whole long list. I deleted some because it was a whole lot of things said, right? So don't take anything lightly. We're heading into serious times. Yes. And for those of us in the BVI, let me bring to light that the Altius Catholic Primary School has been closed. And closed because there is structural students of the Altius Catholic Primary School have reportedly switched to online learning due to concerns regarding the structural integrity of the school building, and its use has been suspended. I probably could stop there with that. Now there's a problem which has been occurring in relation to buildings over 10 years ago, or even some early, where the contractors have been using sand, unwashed sand. And as long as the salt in the sand start interacting with the steel that you use in the building, it is going to start rusting the steel, and as such the steel is going to start expanding and the concrete is going to start cracking. You're going to bust up your wall and mash up the roof and all of that. I've seen many houses in the BVI looking exactly like that, and it is due to the fault of contractors who use unwashed sand. I'm not sure how many more buildings we have in the territory that is, which are currently utilizing unwashed sand to build. It won't last too long, because within 10 to 20 years, you're going to start having the walls bust up and the ceiling all over and the walls all over. So, a word to the government of the BVI: take very special caution that all contractors, all sand producing hardwares, wash their sand. That you don't have a building, them cracking up on the roof, dropping down on people and all kind of foolishness going on. It is carelessness. And I think where you don't have the knowledge, I could understand. But where people know better, I should do better. Yes? So this is the problem, I think, it has created all of this structural integrity. Nice words for a stupid situation which has been created. And I think it's just a matter of sorting, doing the right thing to prevent these things. Right? And finally, this I will bring this up later on with in the broadcast. Fees for trade licensing to significantly increase, with non-belongers to pay up to 25% more. I guess belongers, as you call them, I don't know why they call them belongers. Belong to who? I'm not sure. But belongers, while belongers have an increase in fees, non-belongers will be paying 25 times more. Quite an interesting fact, and we're going to look at that during this program this evening. Yes? This has been Newsbreak, and whatever happens this evening, we're going to be having an amazing program. Now, share this with your friends, share with everyone. This is going to become very interesting as we continue to share this evening. Share with all your friends. Please share this with your friends. We're going to have a very interesting program, and you don't want to miss this. Coming up shortly, we have a situation happening in the high school. I tell you, share this. It's going to become a very interesting topic. A fight broke out like an Al-Qaeda war. This is what you call an Al-Qaeda war. Broke out in the high school. I have video clippings of this, and I'm not sure if the government of the territory understands exactly what has been happening among students. It is an absolutely critically serious matter, and nothing to be taken light. Yes, I think our students have to be examined very carefully in relation to what is happening there. Are they being affected by what is happening via this COVID thing? Are they being affected by what has been happening in the territory? What is going on with our students? They're warring like hell. Not a joke. Come back in a minute.
The raw truth.
The raw truth.
The raw truth.
The voice of the Americans.
Welcome back, and tonight we should be having quite a very interesting presentation. We have in the waiting room, we have Brother Chi in the waiting room. Yes, he came in for quite a while. We're also expecting to have Mrs. Pemberton on the program tonight. It's quite a very interesting presentation. We should be having both of them from the local perspective to examine some of the matters of interest that we have on file this evening. And of course, the question is asked, is the BVI, can the BVI recover? Will life in the territory be the same as we have known it over the years? I have been doing some very serious observation, and I'm not quite sure if we are able to relate to the seriousness of what is happening within the territory over recent times. I think many people are still taking it for granted. I think many people are yet to wake up to what to what will never get back to normal again in the territory. Nothing will ever go back to normal here, and I'm still seeing where our people. Is it that they don't care? I don't know. Is it that people in the BVI don't care what happens? Is it that they simply don't care? If it is that they don't care, then maybe could account for some of the things that we're seeing. Education is important, and when the day is done, I've been observing locally what has been happening and coming to my attention from all the way in Britain, not locally, because no one is talking about it, and I find it absolutely very, 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 very scary that something of this nature could happen within the territory, yet everybody's quiet about it. Absolutely scary. And when the day is done, if this is the facts that we have to, if this is one of the realities that we have to be dealing with, I wonder how in the name of God we're going to deal with this situation moving forward. When our young people the young people are not afraid of the teachers, they're not afraid of the police, they're not afraid of the police commissioner, they're not afraid of the premier, they're not afraid of nobody. Students they're not afraid of anyone. And parents now seem to be having to bow down to the picnic they raise in their own house. Parents are afraid of their own picnic in their own house. Watch this clip. Let us watch this clip for a minute. I'm going to be inviting in Brother Chi in a minute. But I wanted to watch this clip because it is absolutely scary. Absolutely scary.
In your mother's gut. In your mother's. In your mother's.
Now, to all the mothers, all the parents who are watching this program, I ask you to share this a while ago, and please share it because it becomes a very, 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 very serious matter. This happened on Friday, last Friday afternoon, I think it was. Yes? This came to me out of Britain. A concerned family in Britain sent this to me. And perhaps it would have been here if it was not otherwise delayed to get here. When children go to school, is this what they go to school for? Are we raising children anymore? Or are these big men and women who have become Talibans in the homes where they're raised? Is this what is happening? I have to raise this because it's an absolutely critically serious matter. And if it is passed, just passed, many parents in this territory will not be able to probably, if they're not chased out of the house they live, they will not be able to live a long life in the house that they live because of some of these children. I'm warning you, it has to be addressed as a matter of critical urgency in the territory. This is not what students look like. At least not students that I know. Because when I was going to school, it was a whole different breed of students going to school. We could never ever dare get to this place to be fighting like Talibans on the school compound with no regard, not even for the poor security. Much the more, the school principal, much the more, police, no regard whatsoever. This is what our school have come to. And if a parent, if you have a child in the BVI high school right now, you better stop and think seriously, because something is happening among our children which has left them without conscience. Absolutely without conscience. I'm having a serious problem with it. And unless our parents get up off their rear end and do something seriously and get help and report the matter to the Minister of Health and all else. Not health, the Minister of Education. If the minister, whoever that is, has any interest in fixing the scrap, because that's another matter. All of these children should be pulled out of classroom and placed under one psychiatric evaluation. Two, if the brain is all right, they need counseling. All of them. And I'm sure some of them must be traumatized as hell as a result of the things which came out of that fight Friday afternoon. Traumatized. I'm having a problem with it, because if this is what school has come to, if decent parents listening to me tonight want a better option, you might have to pull the children out of school and homeschool them. This is not good. I'm having a serious problem with it. And it is not unique to the BVI, it's everywhere else. It's in Jamaica, it's in Trinidad, it's everywhere. It seems everywhere you go, it's the same thing. Everywhere you go, it's the same thing. What is going on with our children? Is it that the injection they get turning them in a bunch of zombies? What's going on here? We have to start asking questions. Why are they behaving like hooligans? And everybody's quiet about it. Hush, don't talk. Let me bring in Mr. Pemberton, because this Brother Chi, how you do? I'm not hearing you. You turn on your sound. Yeah, we're not hearing. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can turn you on here. That is it. So unmute. No, you need to unmute your mic. Yeah, unmute your mic. Your mic is mute. Yeah, you're on now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're clear. You're clear. How are you, my brother? How life?
I'm pretty good.
One?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Listen, sir, I'm dealing with the issues, because I'm not sure where we're going and how the hell we're going to get there. What I'm seeing here is not looking good.
Okay.
And it seems to be an all-round situation, which it is cause for concern. I'm not sure when we have come here. I'm not sure how we're going to get past where we are, but it's not looking good. Yep. You heard about this fight at the high school, did you? No? Yes?
Actually, this is the first time I'm seeing that footage.
Well, there you go. How could something like that happen at the level that it happened? And it is so quiet.
Yeah, well, it looks like those guys got away. I'm not sure how much actual students it was involved. It was the same students, or how many was it? Was it like a gang fight? Or
well, to tell you the truth, sir, it's a situation which goes like this. One of the guys, he goes to the school, and from what I heard from the guardians, a girl likes the guy, but the guy don't want to have anything to do with the girl. So she called her gangster friend to come beat him up. Now, are those people in school, or did they come in through the gate? I don't know. And if they came in through the gate to beat up this guy, that raises a whole nother set of questions in relation to security in the school. Yes, because in the first place, there should be no fight happening on the school compound, for that matter. No fight at all. I don't care who it is. I don't care what happened. No one should be fighting on the school compound. Number one. Number two, if people come from off the road into the school compound to fight, how did they get in there? Where's the security? How did they pass security to get in there?
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, we speak in the raw truth, right?
Yeah, hell yes.
Yeah, well, we speak in the raw truth. I will be honest with you. I haven't seen anything different that I haven't seen when I was in school. Only thing now, we have social media. That's about it. There were always fights in school. I know there is security now. But everything that you just said, people fighting, coming on campus and fighting is the same story.
Hold on. No. But be careful you allow parents to faint, because if it is that people can walk onto the school premises to fight and beat up people without restriction.
This has happened before. This is why we have security. Now, how well the security is doing their job, or if people are able to evade security, if somebody wants to do something, sometimes they find a way to get it done. I'm not encouraging it. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but this is reality.
My goodness gracious! It's rather for people who are. Let me. I'm trying to get Sister Pemberton in. For people who are for parents who are listening us, it is scary if this is the situation. It's very scary, because when you send your children to school, you expect them to be protected at school. You expect that as long as they are within the walls of the premises, that there is a system at the school that is going to make sure that your children are sent back to home to you as you send them there. If this has been happening all along and the situation has not been addressed, from your time going to school, you say, no, man. This is a very serious matter.
Young boys gonna fight. They need to be more active. They just need the right environment. But when you have them in that situation for so long, these guys, they lack in something, and that's what we need to find for them.
I mean, the whole point is, if it has been happening all this time, it means therefore that no investigation has been done into it, perhaps. And if nothing has been done about it, then no cause or no redress has been ascertained to address the situation.
No, I won't say that. I think everybody who gets into these activities, they have to deal with their own consequences, and whether it's school penalties and school rules and different things, security being amped up. Not saying that these things go uninvestigated, but right. Fights are gonna happen. Fights happen at every school. We have social media now, cameras to show and highlight it, but these things are happening. Everybody talk about growing up having to learn how to fight. I don't think that's something new.
But so they have to learn how to fight, right? So you're saying school might be the best place to learn to fight, right?
Oh no! I'm not saying that. Of course not.
We have Chi Pemberton on the line, and of course, it's what is.
Can I help you? It's Che, not Chi.
Che. There you go. Che Pemberton.
There you go.
Mr. Che Pemberton, and of course, we are waiting on Mrs. Pemberton to come in. We have the Pembertons here tonight, and of course, we intend that we think this is going to be a very interesting discussion. As she gets in, I'm gonna just pull her right in. Good evening, Miss P. How are you doing? Greetings, madam. How are you? Are you hearing us? Are you hearing us? Talk with us. Are you hearing us? I want to know if you're hearing us.
Oh, yes, I'm hearing you all very loud and clear.
Yeah, man. Once you're on the platform, we have to start talking, sister.
Yes,
because a whole lot of crazy things going on.
I'm hearing you.
Whole lot of crazy things happening, and we have to start. We really have to get the discussion going. You saw the clip we presented.
Yes.
This big old fight at the high school. What's your take on it?
Yes, It's sad. It's not the first one. It's not the second one. It's not the third. And it's like a line of events that's been taking place in the high school setting, and it's very, very sad, And I myself had to reach out to some of the ministers by sending them some of the previous fights and trying to figure out where it all lies and where it all started and how could you look into it and find a solution for this aggressiveness.
Wow. And do you know if anything has been done about it? What have you been seeing?
Not from what I have seen, because look at this now. I asked my daughter, she goes to school, and at the same time, she was there and listening and, trying to get out to come to home. And she said that the gate was open. So everybody got in.
Everybody got in. So people could just walk off the just walk off the road
At
into
that
this
present time,
at that
yeah,
present
at
time.
that present time is when they open the gate for the buses to come through, to traverse, to get through, to pick up the students. Apparently, in doing so, they have a window of opportunity for people to get in because the
Ah,
security guards have to open the gate and step away to lock the gates and stuff like that so it don't swing back. I guess now they'll
uh-huh.
have to get electronical gates where you press the button and you have better control instead of that manual system that they have in place. Because if you see fights been having taking place like that, now you have to step up your security even greater, and you have to protect the students' lives, the security life, which I saw security got some licks, and I respect that security for not even self fighting back that young chap because he would have probably got fired instead of you know saying he defending himself.
I'm a little concerned because the kind of licks I see that poor boy get there, that he might probably suffer some concussion or even maybe spinal damage. I hope the
The spinal damage is one of, yes,
you see the he
you
needs
said it
immediate.
right because he he got a hard blow
Yes.
in the back at a few hard punches from that big fellow in his spine. And this is what they instead of looking at the after result of him being hit such hard blow in his lower spine, the damage that could be done to the disc in the young man's spine. So this is what I'm saying. Security either have to be beefed up, they have to get more security officers, or they have to implement a new gating system, put in an electronic gate where you have better control instead of, there's some other ideas that, is in my thought,
Yes.
so yes.
I am hoping that the Minister of Education is watching. I'm hoping that this please share this with them, share this with all political leaders in the territory because these things are no joke. And when the day is done, if I'm sending my children to school and that child come home damaged, I tell you I sue the hell out of all of you. I wouldn't have a problem doing it because this is not a joke. It cannot be taken lightly. In a case where people can just walk on the premises and come beat up my child like that, you'd have you'd have a hell of a problem. I'm telling you. It
But
is
it
it is
is not that alone. The children, they were school children. The same youth that you see was there. He was a student. He wasn't no stranger,
regardless when the day is over.
and
That is not supposed to happen on the premises. And when the day is done, there has to be, and as you say, maybe they need to beef up the security. Whatever needs to be done to prevent that happening, where somebody could even get killed on the premises. It's not a joke. It has to
that
be.
was dangerous. That
It,
that
it, it,
that
it,
one
it,
fight I
yes,
saw.
it has to be addressed. It has to be addressed. I
'Cause,
was I was so shocked when I saw it. I told you this thing that came to me from England, from England. The relative
yeah,
sent it
that
to me
one
from
really
England,
shocked me.
and
Because
I'm here and
security is right there next to the young man, and they beating the hell out of the boy.
this is crazy, man. I'm telling you. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Raw Truth, and of course we have here the Pembertons with us, and we're having a very interesting discussion in relation to what is happening locally, and of course we are going to be touching on the fact that the territory is currently under investigation. The COI, Commission of Inquiry, has launched an investigation into the affairs of government in the territory, and of course, the governor has made it his business to to be dictating on very strong terms what happens moving forward, and if it doesn't, he says he reserves the right, as he's directed by officials out of Britain, to shut down the territory technically and fix the areas that needs fixing. Uh, it now becomes a very serious matter where locals are having varied thoughts on the matter. And when the day is done, I think it has to be noted that everything within the territory could be affected by all that is happening. The new unity government raised the point. They actually added some areas to the COI's findings, additional points, and I think it was probably crazy of the crazy of the premier to have done that. Absolutely crazy to be adding more stress to your current woes. I'm not sure if he was trying to impress the governor or who he was trying to impress. But when the day is done, to put work on top of work is foolish. Who is going to get all that work done? And the question is, if the territory has had a problem over the years to get basic things done, how are you going to add all the work that you put on top of the work that the governor has given you all to do to get it done? It's not making much sense to me at all. Looking at it, Brother Chi, and it's Shay, I need to bring in Brother Shay into this, because when the day is done, as a local, what are you seeing? What is your take on it from where you are in your neck of the woods? How are you seeing all of this coming together within the time specified, the timeline as was outlined? What are you seeing? You think they can pull it off?
Well, we have 2 years. Actually, have the recommendations or the suggestions that they have. I still have to go through them thoroughly, even more thoroughly. I did review them, but
Right.
to take a look at the timelines and see exactly how everything is going to be. Of course, everything is going to come with certain goals, and then I guess they definitely have to have the right strategy in order to implement it. So it's to really get a feel of what is the real timeline in terms of these things. They might be very ambitious with some of these timelines, but they should have a plan in terms of moving forward and how to execute it.
Well, why do you think the premier added more to the list of requirements? Because now they had over 40 other findings, if I should use that word, coming out of the COI, which need rectification. They need to rectify these areas.
Yeah. Well,
and the premier took the liberty to add more, however more he added to that list. He added more to that list to be completed within the same time. Why do you think he did
that? When I will use the example of, I guess, when someone, you want to achieve something, and you might not just set your goal to be that goal. You might set it to be a bit higher. And what I mean by that is that the COI did bring some things to light, and for some parts of the COI, it brought up issues that we already knew existed. And
Right.
if he has a vision for, okay, well, if this is what they require, we still have to set our own standards. So if he feels like setting his own standards as the premier for what, the same issues that we know have been underlain, or some issues that have just been going untouched and have been highlighted by the COI, and he wants to say, okay, well, if they told me to aim for 3 and I feel like we deserve 5, maybe we should go for 5.
Wow. So you don't see that as adding more burden to the status quo, given our history given our history of not being able to measure up the timelines. Yep. For want of a better term. if we haven't been able to live up to our expectations before, why are we so ambitious now that we're going to live up to it now? What are you seeing? Because this is putting us in a greater this is putting yourself in more problems.
Yeah. Well, Repeat the question for me one more time. Let me make sure I answer your question.
I am saying if we were never able to live up to timelines because the government officials coming out of the COI never did what was required in most or many cases. It just never happened. So some are saying if it was said, they probably would have done what they had to do. But in most cases, some of the things were never done. Now I'm saying if it is that we are as we have been, as you know, many things that should probably take a day, take a month. What should take a month, take 6 months. What is supposed to take 6 months, take a year plus. Given that history, is it that our premier is a little too ambitious that they could pull off all of these things within the timeline as set?
Well, that depends on a few things. One, if we do have the structures in place, and then two, what's it? How quickly can we achieve them? I'm gonna highlight the first one because you're saying that there's an extra burden or an added burden, and I think the issue there is definitely capacity. The question is, do we have the capacity? Because if we do have the capacity, then it might not be a burden. It's only a burden if you really can't handle it. And then if we have not been achieving some goals, some things that have been required by us, as you can see by the COI, was just a matter of choice and negligence. It wasn't because of we can't or we don't have the ability to. And this is where we continue to say that we have the ability to govern ourselves and do certain things for ourselves. It's just that for some reason, some of the leaders just chose not to comply. A lot of things were left up to discretion. Not saying that you can't do it. So the perception of things being a burden is really when we know that we're operating at capacity and doing the things that we need to do. So that, to me, that's a question that still needs to be answered. If we take what we need to do seriously, we will definitely know what we are capable of achieving, and then we'll know what would really be a burden to us.
Question, sir. When you look at do you think that there is, they call it the new Unity Party? Unity Party.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the fact that people have been brought from NDP, VIP, whatever P and D and C they come from is a whole other party they pull them from. Mm-hmm. And if people have been as divided on issues as they have been over time,
mm-hmm.
Yes, now brought together. First of all, I'm not sure if this is if this is a British idea to have brought the to have brought the all the parties together, the coalition party. If it's a British idea or if it is the result of our local politicians, I'm not sure where that idea came from. But given the divide over time, as you know and as we know, do you think our politicians in this unity party, all of them coming together, will ever stay united? What are you seeing? Already, Mark. Already, Mr. Malone move across the floor already. That's one.
Yeah, well, they're united for purpose, and when we see that there is a common purpose, sometimes people have to unite, and yes. that unification could be temporary. As long as the goals are achieved, people team up, we work together, achieve a goal. And we know that our system is still based on parties and politics. It's a democracy. People do have the right to believe what they believe, and people do have the right to associate how they associate. So we don't have to expect the unity coalition to stay. People still have different ideals and different approaches to solving some of the same issues, and we have the right to choose how we want to do that. And if we can agree for a short space of time to achieve something for the greater good, and then we decide like, hey, okay, well, now we're going to get back to how we were, or even create different parties, or even develop new person, new, like nurture new younger people. We get to that. So I'm not leaning on the fact that I need to see the unity government stay together. They can achieve whatever we need to do, implement these goals and changes. And if for whatever reason they can identify like, hey, we have different ideals and different approaches, and we want to form our own party, this is our right of everyone to do that. So they don't have to stay together.
But then, sir, you see, you're raising a very serious point, because when you look at it from a very practical point of view, if it is that government officials ought to be united on the same issues, you're talking about the development of the territory, you're talking about the development of people, you're talking about the development of the same system which we've been a part of all these years.
Mhm.
How the hell how could anybody be divided on these issues, which are common issues among all of us,
Correct.
where we should all want the same thing? Why should there be a
Right.
divide?
Because we all agree the thing that separates us is how it is going to be achieved. I didn't say we don't have the same issues. I didn't say that we don't have the same problems. So we all agree that we have the same issues, we have the same problems.
Right.
How we go about solving these issues is where we might differ and we might not agree. And that does not mean that we are divided. We just we might disagree on how it should be done. And this is why we have a democracy where people can choose and vote who they want and who they want to lead, and support the manner in which things are, go about how to do it. So it's not a matter of what it needs to be done. We understand that, yes, we have all of these issues, but where we can say, okay, well, respectfully, I would like to probably prioritize different issues or go about it in a different way. Then people have the right to their own opinion or style to go about solving problems.
Let me bring in Sister Etta here, because when the day is done, it becomes a very important matter. As you look at the history of our politics, as you look at how our politicians have related to each other over many years, and now you're talking about a unity party which has brought all the same divided people together. How far do you see it going? Talk with us.
It's not how far. Good night, back again. It's not how far do I see go. I'm looking at the fact if or not they have the legal right to remain in there at a certain amount of time, or an election have to be done. So that'd be one of the question now. If that's the case, um, who is going to carry on this task that they have put together for these 2 years? So can us look at the fact, would they be in there for that 2 years to manage that plan that was put in place to abide with what the UK is requiring? That's the question we need to ask. And that's the result we need to have. If the unity government is the one that put forth these recommendations, they are the ones supposed to make sure that they stay to work it out. So now, what's the next move? Are they going to have 10 months for a 2-year plan? Or they will be given the permission to go through the 2 year without an election? This is the seriousness of
I
this
think it's a setup.
matter.
I think it's a setup. And I tell you why I say it's a setup. Elections will be next year. That's 2023, right? If we have an election.
Correct.
And if
That's what I'm saying.
And if the recommendations as established will need 2 years to fulfill, and if the new party,
Right.
again, it goes back to exactly what I was saying to Brother Chair a while ago. If unless we are united on all issues, on all fronts, to make sure that these things are done and executed,
All fronts, yeah.
in all fronts, to make sure that these things are done, Britain is gonna sit back and laugh and drink champagne when the day is over and do what they have to do. because this is an absolutely
That's
very,
right.
very clever
That's
setup.
right.
A very clever setup.
This
My
is a
point,
dangerous move.
yes,
This
and
is
I'm
a
saying
very dangerous move.
you're talking about
And
chess.
it's
This
like
is
you
not a
set
joke.
somebody up to do something to watch them fall,
Yes.
So you don't know, well, okay, why put that trap in place that they can't conquer this, they can't deal with this situation. So we could grab it then, So,
An absolute strategic chess move. And when the day is done, I'm saying, I am not
right.
sure if our people
Yeah,
understand this well enough. And my question is, will they be able to deliver? Because it doesn't look too feasible to
you
me.
have to have a
Give
good
me an
night.
explanation.
You have to have a good night. According to the chess, you have to have a good night with a few pawns. Now, the thing is, when people don't try to get along, first, you don't have enough workforce in place to complete this task. you don't
Ah,
you don't have cripple with workforce. You refuse to hire people. You refuse to extend your department workload. So how are you gonna accomplish something so drastically important to the make and break of our people? So
wow.
they have to go back to the drawing board. They have to go back to the drawing board.
Are
I'm
our
telling you, they
leaders,
have to go back to the drawing
are
board.
these young people cognizant of exactly what is happening? Do you think they really realize what the hell is going on? Or maybe they're too happy to have the positions they have to the point where that has clouded their minds so they can't think clear. What are you seeing? Because
Well,
I'm very concerned.
for
I'm telling
my
you,
take,
I'm concerned.
I'm not hearing anything from them. I'm not hearing much at all from them except for some hint that they had a radio show with one of the members being on, or two of the members. That is a disappointment to me because I feel they should
Uh-oh.
have all done come out. The parties used to like the platform of Facebook as their media. That now has been cut out. I don't. So it's look like they have a lock on everything in place now that they're not able to voice their opinion they want or the way they should with the public, and they need to reach out to the public fast.
Wow.
They need to reach out to the public fast because we're losing confidence in the system.
This is a very interesting point made by Mrs. Pemberton. We have the Pembertons on tonight, and of course, this is not a joke. This discussion is one. I'm not sure if it's going to be a popular discussion because many people, maybe they don't care to hear. But when the day is done, every last man who lives in the territory is going to be affected by every single thing that is happening here right now, whether you want it or not, whether we like it or not. It is going to affect everyone. I'm going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be examining some other matters that I have on file here. Don't touch it. Come back.
Do you long to have some real fun in the sun? Well, this is your opportunity to laugh till you drop while you experience a day of total relaxation. Soak it all up on our boat ride to Anegada in honor of the late Algon Smikle. Then brace yourself. The fun party will be blazing in Anegada. We cannot sleep. We cannot wait.
And also remember that the boat leaves at Beef Island Dock at 8 o'clock. So be on time.
June 26th. You would be crazy to miss this. Prizes and surprises galore.
Me hear say Freddy a go and Freddy no ready. So me ready more than Freddy.
Call 342-3979, 543-3803, or 345-3760 for more information. The party master will be there. You hear?
A new season has begun, and while transformation is inevitable for many, your life will remain the same if this is the way you want it to be. However, you can change your life with a better plan from Lifeline Financial Programs. Begin fortnightly cash installments with any amount, then watch your finances multiply into thousands of dollars as you create a brand new future. Life is not a dream. You only get what you put in. We know you cannot do it alone. And this is why Lifeline Financial Programs created the best financial plans to help you transform your life. Guaranteed. Call us now at 4555 or email us at lifelinebvilimited@gmail.com for more information.
Lifeline Financial Programs, the gateway to a better future.
The raw truth.
The raw truth.
The raw truth.
The voice of the American.
Welcome back, and we have with us the Pembertons, and of course we are taking a very serious look at the latest developments within the BVI. It's not it is nothing to take lightly. I think when people become a little numb about a topic or about a matter, we tend to shove it under the carpet, and it's not important. Is it that BVI landers are treating it with a sense of scant regard, perhaps? Is it that they don't care anymore? Is it that BVI landers or local people think it's a waste of time to even talk about it? Is this the case? What will happen moving forward? Will there be a resolve to this matter where Britain is going to be dissolving the House of Assembly and technically smashing government and throwing it out in a garbage pile and taking over the place and doing what they have to do? Will it come to this? The governor was very clear that if they don't do what they have to do within a certain time, he's going to take charge of the place. Are local people, local government, are we all prepared for this? If not, what is going to be the next move? We have the Pembertons with us, and of course, they have been good friends of mine. They've been around this neck of the woods. They've been following what is happening, and of course, when the day is over, it is quite interesting that we need to get a local feed as to what is happening on the ground in relation to some of these matters. And no better persons or people to talk with except the local people. We have Brother Che, and of course, very knowledgeable man. Of course, he's very strategic as well in relation to his thoughts. I'm seeing Sister Etta having some problems with her thing.
You could hear me, right?
Yeah, man. You're coming through clear. Go ahead.
Okay, so I have something I wanted to say because, as we sharing different views.
Yes.
I want to say that I don't subscribe to the setup statement that you made earlier.
Right.
And I say that because while we have these rules in place or the things that we're being held against, they're not really UK rules.
Right.
And I think that was a term that you said, but everything that went on in the COI is based on the Virgin Islands Constitution.
Right.
So if we are being questioned and investigated against our Virgin Islands Constitution created by Virgin Islanders, it's just a matter of accountability.
Yes.
And so if we have been delinquent or for whatever reason subpar in our performance as in relation to what is in the Constitution, then wouldn't it be fair to even ask the question, did we set up ourselves?
You're right on the button, because that I think is the essence of the term I use, because when it is done, Britain is very strategic about what they're doing, and I've said this repeatedly, and it may not be a popular statement, but welcome to the raw truth. I think Britain has been here. The governor has been sitting.
Do you have friends in Britain?
Not necessarily. I have a few people who I know. But they've been sitting back and they've been examining what is happening, and they've been watching it very closely. And the governor not this one, but all past governors, they have taken perhaps a backseat approach. People ask the question, how is it that a governor could wait until things fall apart so badly before they address it? But the whole point is, I think their strategy is to learn the thinking of the people well, in a way that they can relate to them from a strategic point of view. And when you look at what is happening currently, it speaks very strongly to the fact that, as Sister Etta mentioned as well, it seems that, as you say, our people set up themselves by virtue of not thinking through some of these processes well enough to come to a decision before saying, yes, we will do, yes, we will do. Yes? That is a setup. And when the day is done, all you can do is really, you could put your foot in your mouth by virtue of not thinking through these things well enough before you agree to do them. There's another matter, though. There's another matter.
There's one thing I want to say there.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I love this conversation.
Go ahead.
So we bring up the issue of the last governor.
Right.
And why him, and why did he choose to take this laid back approach, or why did he wait until the last minute, or however people might say. And I would like to remind that something unique and something special happened with this governor versus all the others.
Yes.
He went through Hurricane Irma with us. He went through Hurricane Irma with us. He's not seeing the country when we're doing good, and he has to be suspicious. He's seeing us when the place is devastated, everything is exposed, and still things were not done accordingly, appropriately. People were taken advantage, and there are still many people that not got what they deserve. We're talking about the people. So these are the things. So it's easier to see the exposure of these issues, given the circumstances that we were under. So there's always context that we can add to things. So I just wanted to put that in there.
But I like you, You know why I like you, sir? You are not the average thinker. You are a very practical man. Well, now I see why you're in Pemberton. I could figure it out.
Very practical thinkers. Yeah, we really logistic thinkers. We take the box outside the box, on top the box, under the box. We examine everything.
But
we don't take things that
local people do not like this kind of thinking. They're not familiar. It makes them uncomfortable when you slap them in the face with the truth. And this is one of the areas that I think we need to work on as we correct ourselves. The truth remains. You can't change it for nothing. You can't sell it. You can't pay money for it because it's still truth. It don't matter what you do with it. Some of us feel this sense of privilege that because I'm from here and I have a couple of dollars, man, I could buy my way through this. I could fix my way. I could fix it up, type thing. Britain studied none of that, and this is the problem that is happening right now, where all the money that the territory has is worth nothing because Britain is saying if you don't do it so, you're gonna have problems. Now, this is very unusual to the people of this territory. Absolutely very unusual. And the shock it is creating right now has left most everybody in a place where they're wondering, hey, I wonder if Britain really serious about this type thing. Oh man, give them a couple of days, man. They probably forget it, man. They can write over that. But
can I step in there? Can I step in there?
Yeah,
because
please,
you see, you asked a very important question in the beginning of the show concerning the children. Do you know the children are taking on this issue more than we the adults?
I was about to wonder.
I am telling you, I see them every day. I relate to them every day. I talk to them, and there's like, why y'all not doing politics? Why y'all not talking about what's going on? How come we ain't hearing this and that from the people? And man, I didn't know y'all so much into politics. I said, why not? When we come out, we have to either be a part of it or work with it. So I don't know if this tension that is taking place in the country is filtering on the poor children. Sometimes children will take on problems that don't concern them more than the adults that has the problem. Wow. And that's when you need us. Go ahead, Mr. Pemberton.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, you finished, Etta? You done? I want you to finish
Yes,
him.
yes, yes. I finished. I finished. Trust me, I finished.
Okay.
This need 2-3 hours of this show, you know.
Yeah, it is serious. It's not a joke at all, and I'm very
Okay.
happy that you took it on. Go ahead, sir. No problem.
Yeah. So yeah, remember we always have to look at context. This is the word that I just said. We're looking at what year are we in? We're looking at students, whether in high school and primary school. We just in my last comment I talked about Hurricane Irma came and devastated the whole place. Our schools have been in shambles, right? I don't want to say it like that, but schools have been they've been not repaired, they've been damaged. Our students have been forced to adjust to conditions out of the ordinary for years. These kids are not in a solid learning environment. They are not having school full day.
They're not happy.
And these are children that this is now normal for them.
But again, sir, before you move on, because now this is my problem. Nobody is talking about it. Nothing is being. Is it that nothing is being done? I'm not seeing anything done. But it seems to me that it's back to normal and everybody is happy with it. What is going on here?
No, well, as long as something will keep moving, they're going to say, all right, and we need to stop that. Right? So we have these students who are not in proper conditions. And then based on the results of these things, they have whether different issues, they still have different issues at home. Because now school isn't the place that's not only, not proper. Some of the homes still damaged.
Suffering.
They don't
financially, physically.
So these issues isn't just in the school.
Having a psychological effect on the children now, eh?
Correct. And this is why I wouldn't come and just speak against the children. We have issues to find out. Right? The children are just a result. They are the ones that are suffering, and if we see them
that's why they're lashing out.
This is how they know how to express themselves.
Are there psychologists in these schools, sir? Are there, apart from counselors at the regular level, are there psychologists in these schools?
They have what you call them, guidance officers,
guidance counselors,
guidance counselors, and I can't say that I know how to speak on the current status of guidance counselors right now, but guidance counselors are only a bit. We need effort from guidance counselors, teachers, parents, and the community.
Because if it is that students are being affected psychologically by these things, then you need someone who is qualified at that level to deal with it.
Yeah. More than one.
And when the day is done, if this is the current situation where children are said to nearly kill, I'm going to play this clip again because it is absolutely very serious, and I want those of us share this live, please. Share it with everybody because it becomes a very serious matter. I wanted to see what is happening among the children. Watch this.
In your mother's gut. In your mother's. In your mother's.
This is not to be taken lightly. And I am again insisting, and I'm hoping that some minister of government in this country is watching this program. It must be addressed as a matter of critical importance moving forward. Not a joke. This is not a joke. And when you see... Go ahead.
As you look at this show, right, that took place just now, one, you see there were too many children versus 2 security guards. That's one. That's why I say you cannot have a school system with empty security system versus children that have tension, frustration. Some of the children don't have food, they don't eat, they still go to. I tell you, I sit, I talk with children, I help buy lunch for children, I comfort children, and I send message to our heads, the bigger heads, and I said, this ain't looking good. This is not nice. We need to do something. Now, when you have a security guard that don't have the proper tools to defend himself, now these kind of situation, you're in trouble. So
Oh,
it speaks volume. Number two, I look at the security guard been trying to shelter the young man. They ain't respect the security guard position. They move him out the way physically and did what they have to do. And I am going to say this again. I applaud the security guard for the self-control they had for not retaliating nor putting their hand on these students physically, because that might also end up in another
a
serious
whole nother brawl indeed. Absolutely.
ball.
You're right. You're absolutely correct.
You
Absolutely
don't know
correct.
who would have a knife on them. You don't know who might have had a gun on them. You don't know, because they look like they came planned and ready to do an attack mode. Number two, they're on top of transportation that's not theirs, damaging the transportation. So you have a lot of issues that taking place in one little clip that I just saw.
Wow.
Security, number of issues of children who are not supposed to be in school there's a lot of issues.
But let me ask you this though, because now it boils down to the matter of the new unity government. I'm not sure why the hell they decide to call it that. Because in my mind, what's the difference really? Are the people involved in what is called the current unity government equipped to deal with these situations in a way that is going to make sense, not only to the education system, but to the country at large? What is your take on it? What are you seeing? Both of you.
My take, I think I will let Mr. Pemberton go first because I am too harsh.
Talk to me,
I am
darling.
the person that take the raw truth as it
No,
is. So
yeah, we need to know because
no,
it's not making any
if they
sense to me.
weren't doing anything then when they were in power, not because there's the same set of guys. Come on, Mr. Gladstone. Then you people that's in there is the same group of people. And they've been hearing about the issues with the same students. They just jump ship. You know, you might be in one pirate ship and that pirate ship get too
So
small, so you
why
see more
color
treasures
it?
on the other top. You jump
Why
in another ship.
why
Come
are they
on.
coloring this crap if that's what it is? Change it from red to green or from green to blue to fool who? Who are they fooling with it?
They ain't fooling me.
I tell
I
you,
don't
they
know if
don't
they're
like that.
fooling me. I
They
don't
don't
know.
like me when I talk. Now I could understand
They
why
ain't
not many
fooling
people
me.
come. Not many of them would come to this platform because they know I don't farm the ass with people. When it is done, let's get it real. I think this has been crazy. Why are
Yes,
we why
education
are
is
we
the key.
pretending about this? We're pretending.
And I know
If
Mr. Pemberton felt very bad because he himself was a prior teacher, correct? And
Oh, yeah.
the children loved him. They had order, they respected him. And I'm sure he never had this kind of challenge in the school system because he showed love. These children are lacking the fundamental love and kindness to them.
Brother P, maybe you need to go back in the system. The only problem now is that if they're not paying you, don't go back there because that's a hell of a lot of work over there, right? But the
Yeah.
school need people of integrity who are going to help our children to become decent men and women. Is it that the system is? This is not was not supposed to be the discussion, but now it is forming a part of all of this presentation. Is it that teachers lack the integrity to shape our children into the men and women that they should become tomorrow? Is it just a job for most of them? Is the school just a place where people go hang out and cool out and teach a blabbing classroom? Is that what it has come to nowadays?
I could answer
Okay,
that
let
one.
me Etta, let me go on this one.
Go ahead.
Etta, let me go on this one. Okay. So first of all, I will say that I did spend some years as a teacher. I taught I actually was a music teacher. I taught in the primary schools, and I also did some years teaching adjunct at HLSCC.
Right.
The only place I have not taught was the BVI high school or high school level.
Right.
I'm actually grateful that I have not taught at that level because at that level is where the students they just growing up. They start to grow hairs and the hormones raging. And that's when they want to test you. So listen.
Yes, the testosterone are start to kick in.
Yeah, all the hormones, the
Hormone
hormones
wild.
raging. Yeah, they feel they just get some muscle and they want to test you.
Boy, I've been there.
So
I've been there.
Gonna be boys. Boys gonna be boys, and I grew up doing martial arts too. So
that's what I'm saying.
Thankfully, when you got an energy, you just need the outlet, and that's all the kids need, really and truly.
And that's what they're doing.
And that's what they're missing,
But there's a greater problem. There's a greater problem. I want you to finish and let me address it. There's a greater problem.
Yeah, but we get to the teachers, right? And just to say that when we question the integrity of the teachers, I would definitely say that the public service or even teachers are some of the hardest working people in the territory. They work very hard. They have minimal resources, especially those that after Irma, they're not receiving the monies. They're using their own personal resources and they're trying the best that they could. So this is why I say, the effort has to come from everyone, not just the teachers. The teachers are doing their part. And that's what I believe. Now, the quality of teachers might not be the same to what we what we know. We're going to say, oh, we had some great teachers in our day, and some of the teachers that we are really accustomed to have moved on into the ministry, and you make space for new teachers. And we have younger teachers that trying to establish themselves and now have to worry about, the pay that they're not being compensated for. Everybody's trying to make a life teachers now. They come back with the qualifications and some of them are still underpaid. We even saw, I think it was some time back, a young lady with a master's degree paying just over 30,000. So young people now, we work in, we try to find a way. And I think there's just different issues compounding, but the teachers themselves are hardworking. They need to be equipped properly so that they can carry out, their job.
There are a few problems here, son.
Sure.
Before you shoot, Ms. P, there are a few problems here. Because I myself, I'm a teacher. I taught here many years as well. Maybe, but not many perhaps. I didn't say maybe about 3-4 years and I pulled out of the system because it's a systemic problem. There are many decent teachers who travel to this territory who want to contribute to the system. But I'll tell you what the problem is. And it remains an age-old problem. The local teacher will go to school today because I watch it happen. You don't see them tomorrow. You don't see them Wednesday. They come back in Thursday and Friday half day. And that's okay. You try absent for a day and see what happens to you as an immigrant teacher. Try it and see what happens to you. Where I am from, the adults raise the children in the community. We don't have a problem with men raping little girls because we raise our community. If you come here and try to relate to little girls, let me tell you something. I told a principal, I said, before I leave my dignity in this classroom, I'm going to leave here with it. And I walk out of the classroom. I tell her plain.
Well, you saying that?
hold on. Because there's a mentality in the territory among adults that if a little girl likes a male teacher or a man for that matter, you have to watch him because you got to watch him because he might rape the little girl. You got to watch him. Where I am from, in my community, we raise the children in our community. And nobody has a problem with raping little girls because we raise our children. And they come up to be the best doctors and lawyers and teachers and whoever else you want because we were decent, principled people. If I'm to try that in this territory, you'll be looked at as a crazy man, right? And even within the same school system, some of these teachers, hard-skinned adult people, are watching decent people and just waiting for a little thing that because their mind dirty and smutty, so everybody's the same crap like them. I've seen it happen. And I walked out of the school system and left it, never to return to it, because of the nasty mindset of some of our people. What is my point? I am saying, if our children is to experience a better quality of life, and there are people here in the territory who are willing to provide such for them, but because of some dirty-minded people, they have to be put on the back end, it is not going to happen. 1, 2, our young people are going to be raised like some jackasses, senseless people, mumus, with all the doctorates and whatever else, but no common sense, because they were not exposed to love in the school. They were not exposed to care in the school. Is it because you can't trust teachers? Is it because you can't trust teachers? Is it? Or is it because you have them here, but you don't trust them to function? What is the problem? No, I am not saying that you don't have some jackasses in the school system. You have them. You have some men you can't trust. They will rape a dog. I know them. I know they are there. And let us stop. Welcome to the raw truth for those of you who are just joining us. Welcome to the raw truth. Dogs are in school, and as a result, many girls, their parents send them to school, and they go to school and come back home raped and can't talk about it. I know it happened, because many girls will never dare tell you. And if they open their mouth and tell you, they beg you, please don't talk, because they can't live with it. If they talk and you have to open your mouth and tell other people, they can't go back home to the parents because it's big old trouble.
Well, hey, Kenny, that can't happen in my watch because I tell you.
Make we talk the talk. Welcome to the raw truth. This is the time we need to address some of this crappy situation and stop pretending like hell about it. It's a disgrace.
Yeah. I had the privilege at one time. They came to me in 2000 and they say, we'd like you to be our electrical teacher, because that's why I'm majoring. And when I came back from college, they gave me all the syllabus and had meetings. I say, I'm the wrong candidate to teach your students, because if they say A, they're going to get B. If they hit, they will get lashed. So I don't think I fit your criteria. And the woman said, but I think some of these children need straightening out. I said, well, it won't be me, because the way I was straightening them out, them either going 6 feet or I going jail. So I'll turn down your offer. I'll do it from outside. I will help the children when I see them on the outskirts, because no child ain't going to come in no classroom and disrespect me at no given time.
Well, and you see, the thing is this.
That's a problem.
If children are not taught respect, if children are not exposed to an environment of love and care, so they feel loved, they feel like you care for them.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm missing.
If they're not exposed to this environment, then what is going to happen? You look at the fight and the mash up and the tear down that is here happening in that situation. The government don't care about people. That is one thing we all need to get in our head. Government does not care about people. A government is responsible for the management of the corporation. You know what the corporation is? The country. You know what the country name? In this case, the British Virgin Islands, or Jamaica, or the United States of America, or Trinidad, or Barbados. These are corporate entities. That is what the governments are responsible for. There's another matter that I want to raise, and I'm going to take a time break.
Can you repeat that? You can repeat that statement again? You said the what?
Governments do not care about people. Their ultimate responsibility is to manage the corporation, which in this case is called the British Virgin Islands, or the United States of America, or Jamaica, or Barbados, or Trinidad. That's their job. Now you're lucky when a politician gives you a $20. You're lucky like hell. Oh, you're lucky. Because their job is not about people. When they put programs in place, these programs is not to care for people. It is to create an advantage to keep a certain political party in power to control the people. I want us to get that in our head. All of this political crap we're talking about with election and bull crap, we need to get past it, because it is hogwash. God would say, hogwash. Let me take a short break. We come back in a minute. And when we come back, we have one final clip I need to run. And when we run it, yes, we're going to be locking up. We have Anegada trip coming up and all of that. So we'll come back in a bit.
A new season has began, and while transformation is inevitable for many, your life will remain the same if this is the way you want it to be. However, you can change your life with a better plan from Lifeline Financial Programs. Begin fortnightly cash installments with any amount, then watch your finances multiply into thousands of dollars as you create a brand new future. Life is not a dream. You only get what you put in. We know you cannot do it alone. And this is why Lifeline Financial Programs created the best financial plans to help you transform your life. Guaranteed. Call us now at 540-4555 or email us at lifelinebvilimited@gmail.com for more information.
Lifeline Financial Programs, the gateway to a better future. Do you long to have some real fun in the sun? Well, this is your opportunity to laugh till you drop while you experience a day of total relaxation. Soak it all up on our boat ride to Anegada in honor of the late Algon Smikle. Then brace yourself. The fun party will be blazing in Anegada. We cannot sleep, we cannot wait.
And also remember that the boat leaves at Beef Island Dock at 8 o'clock. So be on time.
June 26th. You would be crazy to miss this. Prizes and surprises galore.
Me hear say Freddy a go and Freddy no ready. So me ready more than Freddy.
Call 342-3979, 543-3803, or 345-3760 for more information. The party master will be there. You hear?
The raw truth.
The raw truth.
The raw truth.
The voice of the American.
Welcome back, and for those of you who joined us late, perhaps welcome. And of course, if you're new here, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Yes, please subscribe, like, and subscribe to the channel to ensure that whenever we send out a notification, you're first to know. Now, there's another matter which came to my attention, and I wanted to take very special note of this because it seems to me, that, again, as I mentioned earlier, that the job of government is not to care for people. It is to make sure that the corporation makes money. And it's very obvious that this is what is happening. The new premier is saying that the cost for business license is the lowest in the region. He said other places charge a lot more. Fees are about to be increased 25 times higher than they currently are. I want you to take a look at this, because if you think we're living in a dolly house, stop and think again. A lot of crazy things are going to happen around here, and let me tell you something. A lot of people are going to lock shop. Hold on, let me play this for you. Check this out.
In the process of research and benchmarking, it was essential for us to compare our current fee structure with those of similar jurisdictions. As a result, we found that, compared to most territories, the Virgin Islands has very low fees, while other territories such as Cayman Islands are 5 to 10 times higher, with a range of $150,000 to $400,000. Turks and Caicos Islands' annual fees for business licenses range from $150 to $10,000, depending on the type of business. There are currently 45 categories of business activities and 65 fee classifications. 20 classifications are reserved for Turks and Caicos Islanders or Turks and Caicos Islander controlled businesses. Related to the new proposed structure, the fees range from $150 to $1,500 for belongers, and $1,500 to $15,000 for non-belongers, depending on the category of business. The proposed fees still remain relatively lower than that of Cayman and on par with Turks and Caicos. You have aimed to be competitive and relatively affordable while balancing the need for the Virgin Islands Trade Commission to generate revenue, to become more self-sufficient, and to make a contribution to the overall finances of the Virgin Islands.
Now, for those of us who do not understand exactly what is happening here, let me explain this to you. He's concerned about relative costs of other nations for similar services. You know what is going to happen in the BVI? And I could tell you this category. Mark my word now. For those of you who don't know that you're dealing with a profit, listen to me well. A lot of small businesses are going to be destroyed within the territory because one, the economy has ended up in turmoil, so people not making much money. Thousands of immigrants have left the territory because they are the ones who normally support most businesses. Locals buy their things outside or wherever they buy them. They don't necessarily support local businesses. And the Arabs will tell you that their businesses depend on the immigrant to live. Right? Since COVID, many immigrants have returned to their homeland. And as such, locals don't support most of these local businesses. Except it's a Right Way or a Walmart or a wherever else, these major conglomerates for food. Yes? So already, local businesses are suffering. I wanted to listen to this young man talking. He's our premier, but listen to him. And if you don't get what is happening yet, the microeconomy is going to collapse in this territory, while the macroeconomy, by virtue of the conglomerates who are left in business, is going to get fat. That is what is going to happen. The backbone of the community is going to be broken by these high fees. And I'm saying, why in the name of God is the Premier talking about other countries that are charging us exorbitant fees when many people here can hardly buy a pound of flour? Yes, we know the divide is there, and the rich is rich and the poor is gonna get poorer still. But what percentage of this community is poor people? You normally have the middle class. You don't even have a middle class again because it's now rich and poor. Is it that the premier? Where do these politicians live? Do they live in the territory or they come from Mars, someplace, come in here and fly out back every evening? Where the hell they live? Where do they live? The little man now who is struggling like hell already to keep his business afloat is now going to be expected to pay 25 times more to keep his business alive. Or up to 25 times more. And that is not concerning to you. I tell you now, the territory is going to implode. And a wise philosopher said, he said, a government which depends on taxes will ultimately render the people into poverty. I want you to remember that. A government which depends on taxes to do its business will ultimately render the people impoverished. It's going to leave the people, it's going to send the people to poverty. Is that what is happening here? While the Walmarts and the Right Ways and all of those people wreaking tens of millions of dollars every year. The little man around the corner who have a little business by virtue of the exorbitant fees that now the Trade Department is about to charge them for their businesses will end up closing their business as a result. Is this what it is set to do? I want you to wake the hell up, people. Wake up. Local people, stop sleeping. If you're sleeping, wake the hell up. Welcome to the raw truth. I'm telling you straight. Because some of us don't get it yet. A lot of us are going to find ourselves in a situation where when the cookie crumble and the roof falling on your head, you say, Lord, what happened? It was cracking and falling and squeaking all along, but you were not paying any attention to it. We have the Pembletons with us. This is a hard shot tonight. I hope I didn't bring them into the kitchen with too much fire inside here tonight. But trust me, this is no joke. And we need to get to the place where we begin to assess these situations with a sense of urgency and common sense. Now the new premier is about to the lifeblood of the territory. People can hardly find flour money and sugar money and salt money. But now you're talking about businesses being charged up to 25% more. Let me say to immigrants right now, and I'm going to go on record as saying this. I'm going to go on record as saying this. If you're an immigrant in this country, before things implode and you're behind in here, start packing your bags. You hear me? You don't have to like me for this. And you have some jackass local who are going to say, oh, let them go, let them leave, you idiot. How the hell can the territory survive without immigrants? We are the lifeblood of the territory. I said it on a morning grab show the other morning, that immigrants are immigrants are the most important people in territory. A woman called, oh no, our children are. Did your children live a block and build one building in this territory? I'm not discounting the fact that your children are not important, but the immigrants who are the horses and donkeys in this territory should listen. I don't want none of you to like me. I don't care one rat's about what you think. I don't care. We need to get the hell up and start thinking practically. We have been duped to think bulls. Who is going to suffer? The local community has been duped. I don't know when they're going to wake the hell up. I'm so sorry to go on so bad tonight, but my gosh, we have to wake up. We have to wake up. Sister and Brother Pemberton, don't listen. I don't want to watch me tonight. But we need to wake the hell up. Why are we so foolish?
Well, it's a good thing you have an economist on your show. So we're going to start with him with the way forward, because we are here for solutions that best strive to build our country. And this is the best man to answer this question. I'm going to come in my little 2 cents.
Trillions of dollars already sitting.
I train it at you.
Brother Pemberton, trillions of dollars already sitting idle. And our people are now being brought under additional pressure because we are the lowest people, we're charging the lowest rates in the region. Does our premier has a heart for his people?
And you ready for me to start?
Go ahead.
The premier is not in charge. Yes.
You ready for me?
Talk with us, yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, you start by saying you're a prophet. So I'm going to just say I'm an economist. So this is a...
Yes, talk to us.
Okay?
Go ahead.
I saw this article come up today as well too, and remember we talk about the issues and we can agree on some things, but the difference comes to how. Okay, I do see that this can be a challenge for small businesses. I agree, but I won't say the businesses will fail. I won't say that. What I will say,
brother, you say you won't say they will fail?
Are you going to let me speak, sir?
Yes, man, I wanted to speak, but I'm asking a question. You say you won't say they will fail?
I won't say it. I will not speak that against my businesses. I won't say that they will fail. Okay? But what I will say is that it's going to deter people from registering their businesses. People that have businesses, that people that want to get started in the business, they are going to think twice about it. They might slow down. So if he's doing numbers based on the activity that's happening now, and you raise the price, the quantity or the amount of activity is not going to do the same thing. So as the price goes up, the activity is going to go down. So if you think he's going to make the same amount of money based on the projections, there has to be some calculations in there. What's going to happen is there's going to be an increase in what we call the informal sector. And that doesn't mean the money isn't circulating. The money is circulating.
Hold on. Let us put it the other way. In other words, you're gonna have a lot of crookery happening in the what you call the so-called informal sector.
No. That's not the word that I used. I did not say
No.
crookery.
I am using it. I'm taking the liberty to use it. Yes.
Well, you can say it. I'm using the word informal sector. It's informal activity. People are still going to be making honest money. It's just not going to be accounted for.
Oh, honest money, you said. But if it isn't, hold on now. No, hold on now. You see. This is why they don't like coming here. That's why they don't like coming here, you know. Because when I don't back your ass up, you better make sure you can talk straight. If you say it is informal, and the money they're making is not accounted for, then isn't this what you call illegal business?
Oh no.
No. So why then did I get a business license in the first place? Could I not just be an informal business?
Well, you do the business so that you could definitely have the rights, the licenses, because there's other legalities that come with it too.
Precisely.
Right?
Precisely.
So when we're talking about the micro businesses, people that just want to get something off the floor, they might say, man, I might take a little bit longer before I register my business. They might just say, listen, I'm gonna keep selling these special out of my trunk. I'm gonna sell more juice out of my car. You know, or I'll just go and sell water, which we don't want to encourage. We want people to be doing legitimate business, but it's not by any means illegal. It's just informal. Okay. And then I think the next point that you brought up was, talking about how many immigrants or people, that are not from here that are going to leave, talking about them being the backbone of the economy and the workforce. And that's definitely true. Our workforce is definitely dependent on imported labor. The next question I would ask, we have to see the numbers on this. It would be, what percentage of trade licenses or business licenses are owned by the immigrant population?
But look at this again, sir. You see, and this is where the time has come for us to be
about 25%,
perhaps, but
average.
But the time has come
about
for us
25.
Come for us to be open-minded, because I could tell you this. What has been happening is this: by virtue of the fact that the local might need 4 requirements, while the immigrant need 12 or 14, that in itself has been a deterrent to many businesses.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Which could have been established in this territory. 1, 2. Yes. Many immigrants who have requested to have their businesses set up, their licenses are currently sitting in the Premier's office in piles, I was informed. Piles. And that was the former Premier. I'm not sure about how this one is going to clear it. But boxes. But let's talk the talk now, man. Welcome to the raw truth. Piles of these applications were sitting there. Piles. Why? Because they're not from here. When it is done, what is that doing? Keeping the immigrant away from the forefront while they push the local to make the money. Okay, fine. But what services are you killing? What industries are you stifling? What
ideas you're stopping from coming out? Yes.
Are you stopping from? You understand what I'm saying? This whole from here crap that has been perpetrating in this territory is destroying it. And let me tell you something, brother. I'm telling immigrants, if you can't live, start packing your bag, because it's going to get tougher. Tougher. You think it's tough yet? Okay, all right.
I went and asked questions about that same trade license business for non-belongers. For example, the fishing industries, most of the BVI landers don't like going underwater and dive for certain particular seafood. So you have people that want to get trade license, but because they're not from here, the barrier is set up that, okay, it's so difficult that if you don't have this, you don't have that. Don't yourself think about it. And the other thing is that you may have to, even if you married somebody, that still don't give you no favoritism in getting a trade license either. So it's not business friendly in the first place. Nothing that is set up in this country seems to be business friendly for people to expand and use the great ideas, the great thoughts they have to make this country strive. So it's sad to see that we're still in the antiquated age of thinking that is only us alone can do everything. That's not so. And I can say if it wasn't for my father who decided to leave his little other country at the age of 15 and come here and say, I give up. I was sent here. Then he went back 17 when he finished schooling, and the company sent him back to start working in this setting here. You know, it's guys like that is
Wow.
not going to be able to produce because those young men left where they had with an open heart to teach and help others to elevate on a different level. So now, if you have the youths now of today don't know have the decent common sense of how to fish, as they say, if you don't provide a man with the tool, he can't provide for his family. So if you take away all that from that man, you're taking away from a family being able to earn and gain.
My
No,
sister,
this
my
yeah, go
sister,
ahead.
I don't want to cut into what you're saying, but you know, the time has come for us to stop and really think about this. Again, I say the greatest resources, and Mr. Pemberton agrees as an economist, and everybody else with common sense could say this. The greatest resource of this territory is our immigrant people. If you're talking about a labor force, if you're
Yes,
talking about
Yeah,
if you're talking about ideas to merge with the local community to help to develop it, we have all kinds of
yes,
skilled people from outside coming here, and they have been thrown on the side, thrown under the bus, and all kinds of crap happen to them because people cannot control them. When they should have been given the opportunity to train local people in some of these arts, to develop industries on which the territory could depend to boost itself economically, they have been sidetracked and strangled into non-existence. And it is crazy. I'm not sure why we have done this to ourselves as a territory. And now the premier is saying that they're going to raise all of these fees again on on for business license. I might have to scrap mine. Because when the day is done, if you're not making this amount of money, running a business and finding yourself in deficit is a foolish idea.
yes.
And a lot of people are going to be thinking like I am thinking. If it is going to cost you too much for your business and you're not making that amount of money, lock it down. Period. It don't make no sense. Who is going to
Well, that's
lose?
what I'm saying. We don't want that to happen. So now, is this a statement he was bringing forth with an idea to the John public for our views, or this is something that is written in stone and that is going to take place?
Well, you know
If
how
that
they
is,
do it. They throw it at you. It's not written in stone, but they throw it at you. Of course, these are some of the legislations which were passed in the House. They throw it at you and they watch how you deal with it. And if you don't send them, just go ahead and pass it. It becomes a law. Boom. Everything is in place. That's how they work. 16 years I've been watching. People don't have the resilience to even stand up to say, hey, we don't want this because we don't like how it sounds. We don't like how it feels. People just accept the crap, whatever they do. And this is the problem locally.
but this is what I'm saying. You have people come from outside. For example, we had a company test. Test saw the need to train diesel engine mechanic in the BVI. We went set up meetings with the college and whatever, and with the premier at the then time and whatever. And
Right.
you know what came out of that meeting? If we are not going to profit, we don't want to be a part of it. So the training of teaching how to fix backhoes and heavy equipments got shut down at once. Bam. So the the system is setting up that they don't want the youth to learn. That's all I can say.
You know what is going to happen? I hate to talk like this because I'm seeing it very clearly. You see, if things continue so, then politicians soon can walk on the road like they're walking now.
You see, Mr. Pemberton, if he didn't have a strong force behind him and his strong parents that said, well, you got to go, they go learn this, like it or not, this is something that you have to use for your future. Like myself, I had strong parents. You better go study electrical engineering. I said, what the hell I want with electrical engineering? I spent years away studying electrical engineering, learning structural building. Structure. I said, what y'all sending me to school to do here? Not knowing that in the future, it will have become useful to me
Yes.
as a fire officer. So
Yes.
we have a lot of skills courses out there that they even self not touching, they're not directing some of the students in these fields, which are the technical field.
But this is what makes
And
it difficult, my beloved sister, if I should butt in here. Because what normally happens in school, from what I remember, they normally teach, but now they call it within the territory. If you're talking about the skills school, the skills training center that is here, people look at it as a school for people who don't have no sense.
right.
They say doctors and lawyers and whoever else as the smart people, smart in quotes.
Mm-hmm.
But back in the 70s, when people went to school, they learned auto mechanics in school. They learned woodwork in school. They learned how to make shoes in school. Women learned hairdressing and they call it home economics. All of that was done in school. And you know what happened when these people leave school? They left school with a skill. You know what they normally do? Go straight into the working world because they are equipped to function. Guess what they did? Guess what they did coming out of the 80s into the 90s? They pulled all of those things out of the school system. Pull them. What have you left the man and the woman to do? To be dependent on a stupid system that is built on what you call what's the word? Yes? Everything is bookwork and the doctorate and the master's degree and yes? And nobody in my mind is more stupid than some of these people with doctorate degrees and master's degrees. They don't have no common sense. You put them in a practical situation and they are lost. They don't know what the hell to do. That is what is missing in our society today. No, I am not saying that having a master's or a doctorate degree is not important. Yes, it is important where you can acquire it. But the skilled man is also most important for the development of his community. We need more masons right now. You have to be importing them. You need more
steel workers.
You need
more linesmen. These are a lot of the people, and you have to pay to bring them in. You have to pay to house them. And all of this I brought out to them that these are the subjects that they need to put back into the school and system, especially in the high school level. They have to. Because if you don't give the children things to challenge their mind to go out there and challenge themselves, they're going to feel dull. If you don't sharpen that pencil, the pencil can't work.
Boys fighting like hell because
that's what I'm saying. You have to put challenging subjects in the system that even plumbing,
boys find school boring. Because boys do not.
That's what I'm saying.
Boys do not do what you call refined motor. They're not what you call
motor skills. They're not motor skilled students.
They're not refined.
They're mechanical, right? They're more mechanical
they
inclined.
Use their hands in school. Boys
right.
Use their hands. They take out all those subjects in school, so the boys like girls sit down there watching the blackboard every day like they're stupid, and it makes them.
And I realize a lot of them have this. I keep on asking what's happening to this generation. The way they walk, the way they shift themselves. Yes, that's your private, but then you're producing a set of. I can't say the right truth here. I can't say that.
Listen, honey. This is all the raw truth, and we need to speak it for what it is. And this is why we have the world we're living in today, because young people are unfulfilled. They are not given what they need.
They're satisfied.
They're not satisfied, so they go to school and they go to school, come out of school, turn cruff, girl them get pregnant, boys them smoke weed on the side of the road. Because
this is what I'm saying. You have skills, like driving skill, how to drive heavy equipment. Now, for me, I'm glad I was a technical child as young. I was a aggressive child. So all these skills, I tell my father, boss, if whatever you could do, I want to do it better. And I end up learning every skill there is out there in this world that I could take care of myself. And be afraid to talk about this subject because we might get our hands dirty. You dirty, you wash it. You hardly have any, right now, to get a computer technician to manage a car that is computerized. You have to send overseas, pay $3,000 to bring these specialists here. Some of the guys bring the computer, but they can't even understand the terminology, the codes, because they haven't been able to train in these fields.
A lot of immigrants are here with the knowledge. And I keep saying to our leaders in this country,
utilize them.
Get the people with skill in a meeting, discuss a system of development with them, establish some form of remuneration with them to train the local people. Why are we so is it being
stubborn? We're stubborn.
What is wrong with local people? I love this place so bad, but we're not thinking. The brain clog up.
As Mr. Pemberton said,
I see Brother Cheese
he loves this. His love is correct.
I listening.
You know, it's time. We have to get to that place where we start thinking practically. Go ahead. Sir.
I want to say something. Yeah. So we need to understand that everything have its place, and yeah, we have the partnership. And I listening to the language of what you're saying. We're gonna have to talk some more. And yes, we have to learn how to utilize our expats and also our locals, but it's learning how do we partner and work together. I don't think it's an issue of who is better and who is not better and all of this. So I think the skills, the jobs that need to be have. We talk about some skills that need to be put back into the high school. I would say no. I would say things that used to be taught before, that's in the past and they get removed. And if we're really going to think about the skills that need to be put into the school system, we need to think about the skills that we need for the future, not for the past, not the skills of the past.
I can't believe that time. I can't believe that time really had. Well, it does happen when time flies on.
You like talking to me. That's what happened.
But you know the point.
Talking to me.
This is something else I would want to say, because I've said this and I said this to a couple of politicians before. I am a performing arts expert. I was trained in the performing arts in Jamaica. When you win a gold medal before 3 million people, you're good. I don't have to blow toot my own horn. That's where I'm coming from. That's my background. I've trained many choirs, taught many schools in Jamaica. And when the day is done, I am here as a performing arts expert. Where do you put them? I went to the same premier now. Same premier here. I went to it. And I said, listen, boss, I could help to transform the thing performing arts is about singing and dancing, and that's all they see in their head. That is all they're seeing in their heads. I said, listen, I could transform this territory in a flash in the performing arts.
Look on him next to you.
We're going to talk for 2 more hours if you start this,
Yes. That's your same field.
We're going to talk for 2 more hours.
Where do you put me? I was told that we have a doctor so-and-so who is in charge, and that is it. I'm sure every month you're collecting a salary and not a hell is done. And this is my problem. Why are we so stubborn among ourselves when we are presented development on a platter? But because, what, is it family or who we know or what the crap it is? We keep our people impoverished. And
that's what I told you.
And dumbed down because of some friend or some crap.
And when the people lack knowledge, they perish, man, God, they perish.
Is this what it is?
They perish.
We need to wait. I keep saying I don't know if I will ever talk like this again. But my God, come on, people. Let's wait.
There's so much I ever hear you talk on this.
Brother and Sister Pemberton, you have been amazing. And let me tell you something. We need more people like you who are indelibly dedicated to speaking the truth. Who are practical thinkers. People who are not afraid to come up and talk. Because we have a lot of cowards around here. People don't like to talk because if you talk, you're going to mash up your friend too, or you're going to mash your cousin too, or you're going to mash up whoever can. Look, they're afraid. We need more brave people like yourselves who can come here on this platform and talk. And when it is done, it means a lot to all of us to hear the truth. Because it helps
free spirit. We have free spirit
as we move forward. as we close, Madam Pemberton, I'm going to give you the chance before I put up Brother Che. Ladies before gentlemen, talk to us in closing.
Well, in closing, in order for us to move forward, I think we need more communication as a people. We need to mingle once again, and reality check with each other. This distance, keeping away, not hearing our idea, not hearing our thoughts, not hearing our grieving, it has put a damper on the whole Virgin Islands, and it needs to stop. We need to find a way forward where we can grow in unity, build, find solutions, proper solutions to help move this country forward. One of my takes, one of my thoughts is using some of these islands we have. You can put children to learn farming. They can enjoy field trips going from one island and use the islands as a farming ground and teaching ground at the same time. You can have wind turbines, solar panels, you have everything energy. Just designate some of the islands for that purpose where you know you have a strong future, you have a strong foundation, and nothing can move us. That's my last thought.
So I'm next now. Closing thoughts for me, man. I just want to say thank you for having me. And for everybody who's listening, this has been a great conversation. We need to continue the dialogue. Continue to support the children in the school. It is everybody's responsibility. Better BVI starts with everyone, not just the teachers, other guidance counselors, and so on. We do have to pay attention to what's going on. I'm glad to see that we're looking at the news. We also have to understand, the standards and the standards that we want to hold our politicians against. We have to learn these things properly, not just for the short term, but for the long term. And we need to continue the dialogue. That's all I'll say for now.
And thank you so much for coming on, yourself and Sister Pemberton.
Yes.
Please take care of
Thank you for
yourselves
having me.
We'll keep in touch, all right?
Thanks to everybody. Good night to everybody. Blessings cover y'all. Thank you.
No problem.
It was a blessing.
That was Brother and Sister Che, Mr. Che and Mrs. Etta Pemberton. Not wife and husband, for those of you who are wondering. They're just relatives. But yes, and absolutely a very interesting discussion, and I think when it is done, quite diverse as well. And I think these are the discussions we need to have from a very practical point of view. This platform is not about scoring points and racking up numbers and all the crap and talk foolish and stuff. We're not into that. So if that is very unattractive for most of us, then fine. The sensible people who need real information will come here for the information. And we will continue to deliver strategic dialogue, and we'll continue to embrace our people at all levels as we come together to examine the different happenings within our neck of the woods in a way that is going to make sense to our people. We thank you again for what is considered another amazing evening with you. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks to all our friends, those of us who have been sending in your messages on WhatsApp. You have not been able. Some folks just did not want to come onto WhatsApp to share. To come on the chat to share. But yes, I've got your messages, and we thank you so much for coming on. For those of us, if I need to check the chat, I'm seeing a whole list of people. Michelle Clark, Mariam Plata, is it? The council. Thanks for coming on. Michelle Clark, thanks for coming on. Luzette, our friend Luzette King, thank you so much for joining. Mimi Baby, Raymond Bryan, goodness gracious, thank you all so much for coming on. Just to call a few of the names. We will keep you posted as to what is happening. Make sure you like and subscribe to the our PSI TV YouTube channel, that whenever we send out our notifications first to be updated. Stay locked. Share with all your friends. And whenever we come back here, please join us because next week we're going to be having St. Kitts. Please remember, this coming Sunday, and I'm going to run the ad and come right back and talk a little bit about that as well before I lock off because this is very interesting. The Anegada trip, very important.
I'm so excited.
Do you long to have some real fun in the sun? Well, this is your opportunity to laugh till you drop while you experience a day of total relaxation. Soak it all up on our boat ride to Anegada in honor of the late Algon Smichael. Then brace yourself. The fun party will be blazing in Anegada. We cannot sleep, we cannot wait.
And also remember that the boat leaves at Beef Island Dock at 8 o'clock. So be on time.
June 26th, you would be crazy to miss this. Prizes and surprises galore.
Me hear say Freddy a go and Freddy no ready. So me ready more than Freddy.
Call 342-3979, 543-3803, or 345-3760 for more information. The party master will be there. You hear?
That's this coming Sunday morning at 8 p.m. Of course, make sure that you go by the Beef Island Dock, and of course, that trip will be heading off to Anegada. For those of you who have never been to Anegada, this is going to be a fun-filled day. Good food and all of that. Call the numbers on your screen, or call the numbers in the ad, and make sure that you contact us for more information. If you missed that and you want more information, let me put our numbers on the screen, so you'll call us here at PSI Network, and we will be happy to give you more information if you wish to go. Tell your friends. This is in honor of the deceased brother Smichael, who died, and of course the family will be there as well. It's in honor of this gentleman. So please. Make it a date. If you haven't been to Anegada in a while, please make sure that you call us. We can set it up for you to get your tickets, so you can enjoy that ride. Prizes and surprises, a lot of food, blah 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 blah. It's crazy. Just make sure that you're connected. It is going to be a day of absolute relaxation. Good for you if you're stressing. Get out and go de-stress. Very, very amazing thing to do. Yes. I tell them stress killing people around here nowadays. Some people soon have bad liver and bad heart because of stress. You don't need to kill yourself. Go and have fun. Go and have fun. All right, call us 540-4555 and make sure that you get the necessary information. Peace. We catch up with you next Monday evening, and until then, take care of yourselves. We keep in touch. Adios.
Money is the root of all evil. Oh yeah. And enough I sell them birthright and I sell out the people now. Some of them a kill and maim and some a rob all the people. Oh yeah. But Jah Jah not sleep and he man go take them out. Hey, it's failing. The system of the world is failing. Yeah.